Greetings, opera lovers. Live from Pittsburgh, it's Rona. It's a Sunday afternoon, and I've just finished watching a live-streamed opera from Munich, Monteverdi's masterpiece Orfeo. This opera, which I have seen many times, lives and dies by two things: the singers and the production. The music on the page can be interesting, you can like it, not like it, but it only comes to life through a production. Unlike so many other operas, for instance, I love listening on my iPod to all the masterpieces while I work out. I know you might find this odd, but I love to work out to Parsifal, Lohengrin, L'Elisir d'Amore, whatever. It's just beautiful music, and it can lift you up. And while Monteverdi's music is certainly beautiful, I think that without seeing the accompanying drama or knowing every single word in Italian, it sort of just meanders along. Now, I know some of you out there will be horrified to have heard me say this, but that's just my opinion. It's how I feel. Well, today I had truly one of the greatest operatic experiences of my life, seeing this live production from the Bavarian State Opera House in Munich. The production was magnificent. Every aspect was fantastic. So I'm going to start with the production. I have a little cheat sheet right next to me. The director was David Boesch, and the sets were by Patrick Bonvart. The costumes were by Falco Harold, and the lighting, which was absolutely fantastic, was by Michael Bauer. What you got on stage looked like a black and white movie, although it was really sort of navy and white with shades of gray and black. It was stark and really moving in its simplicity. The costumes were sort of raggedy. It had a concept feel to the opera. The scenery was a little bit minimalist, and just a little bit reminding one of Eurotrash, as Orpheus rides around in an old VW minivan. What I thought was the oddest thing was there was a banner behind Orfeo and Eurydice as they begin the opera with a sign in English that said, "Just Married." And the reason I find that interesting and weird is that the opera is in Italian and there was no other reference to anything English. Maybe "just married" is something that is universal, just like the word computer or backup. I don't know. All these technological terms, "just married" might be the same thing. So the singing, as you all know, is what I listen to opera for. If the production is good, all the better. But here was something quite unusual. The cast was uniform. In other words, I felt they were all equally good, and they all sang with the same style, which is quite unusual for hearing a professionally presented Renaissance opera. Why? Because most opera singers study to become that full-voiced, get that Italian sound or the German sound or the French sound. But people who study opera usually don't strive for that great Renaissance sound, meaning a little bit lighter in vibrato, a sort of a, don't take this the wrong way, a hollower sound to the singing, very pure, angelic, evocative of another time. And that's what all these singers had. I'm embarrassed to say I did not know one of their names, and they were all fantastic singers. But before we get to the singers, let's start right away with the conductor. His name is Ivor Bolton, and you may know his name because he conducts a lot at Salzburg and Glyndebourne, other places too. I had no idea he would be able to put on something as fantastic as a Monteverdi opera. Who knows, maybe that's his specialty. What was really great is the opera started out absolutely to put you in the right mood with some musicians from a small group that specializes in Renaissance music right on stage. And this leads me to a little side subject, opera and its appeal to the audience. I don't think I remember in all my going to the Met or other opera companies that the large cast has ever put on a Renaissance opera. I've seen many versions of L'Incarnazione di Poppea, but usually done here in Pittsburgh, especially by the resident artists. They've also done Ulysses, and I think they did an Orfeo once too. But usually the big companies don't do them. And my guess is that the directors of the opera companies feel that they couldn't sell out the house. And maybe that's true. But hello, if you put on a production like today's, I can't imagine educated people who are interested in the arts not flocking in huge numbers to see something as magnificent as this. The staging, which was kind of simple, just did it. It didn't resort to any gimmickry. You know, there's a scene where we all know the story of Orpheus, how Eurydice dies, and he's supposed to go to the underworld and save her, and he's supposed to not look back, or they'll be separated for life. In the opera, there's a part where he has to cajole someone to take him over the river Styx. And in this opera, I kept waiting for, like a river and a boat and this and that. Well, it was just done simply and beautifully. The lighting, the drama, it all came out perfectly. Okay, now we get to the singing, the stuff I go to opera for. Playing Orfeo with someone whose name is Christian Gerhard. I am so embarrassed to say I never have even seen his name. I have since found out that he is very well known in Germany. In fact, among people who love the arts, he's like a superstar. I saw in his biography he studied with Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau. What a surprise. This guy is just great. He's a baritone, but when I was listening to him, he had this sort of, this is a compliment, a sort of generic voice sound, meaning I almost couldn't tell, is this a baritone, is this a tenor? What is it? It's just a gorgeous voice singing the music. Can you ask for anything more? He was so impassioned in his singing. I didn't have the super titles on, but I know what he's singing about, and you could feel everything. This guy he was Orfeo. All right. Next in line comes Eurydice. Anna Viravlansky. I looked up her biography, Russian, of course. Fabulous. And she's also an opera singer who does the major kinds of roles that require such a rich and vibrato-filled voice. And she was able to sing in this Renaissance style to perfection. Going down with the women, the one who plays Speranza was someone whose name is Angela Brauer, another brava. I mean, everybody was terrific. The Messaggera was Anna Bonitatibus, an Italian singer. Caronte was Andrea Mastroni, Plutoni, Andrew Harris, and Apollo was Mauro Pater. All of them were fabulous. I'd go to hear any of them again. And the main thing that made me happy and sad, it was so great, that made me happy. What makes me sad is why can't we do things like this here? And with all this talk of the impending lockout at the Met, it just really makes me angry. What is going on? People try to either pander to public taste without knowing what the public taste is, or they say the audience won't buy it. You can't have it both ways. You can't know and not know at the same time. All right, enough of my rant. I had a great day. This is going to be rebroadcast. I urge everyone to watch it. All you have to type in is www.staatsoper, that's STAATSOPER.de/TV. You won't regret it. Bye.